Good evening, South Tama Trojan fans. Welcome to another night of basketball. It is playoff time here for the boys team from South Tama. We're live from Grinnell High School this evening. I'm Darvin Graham, and I'm joined by my co-host tonight, Allison Graham. Allison, it's great to be with you as always.
It's great to be with you too, Darvin.
How's your weekend been so far?
Oh, it's been pretty chill. We had both you and I had a day off today for President's Day.
Oh my goodness, yes, it's Monday. It doesn't feel like a...
It is Monday.
It's been a 3-day weekend, so...
Yeah, it's been a 3-day weekend, so I spent a lot of time reading, which is one of my favorite hobbies.
You bet.
I watched some girls basketball today. Some of it was live, some of it was not. I think I watched Illinois beat Indiana.
What a fun, incredible week in women's basketball history with Caitlin Clark breaking the NCAA record on Thursday. You were there.
I was there. I
Tell us
figured
about
we'd
it.
get into this at some point.
Yeah.
Oh, it was absolutely electric. I think Carver was as full as I've ever seen it, which, you know, all the games are sold out. That doesn't necessarily mean that every person who has a ticket makes it to the game, but it was a packed house. I ran into several people I knew before the game, and just like the excitement in the air. And then the fact that she had 8 points that she had to get to break the record, and she did it so quickly. And I mean, no better way to do it than the logo 3.
Yeah, you could tell that was kind of on purpose. And really awesome to see kind of everything get put together, and I think it was a historical scoring night for her as well from a total.
It was, yep. So not only did she break the NCAA scoring record, but she broke her collegiate record, I think it would be, because I'm pretty sure she had scored 60 points in a high school game.
Okay.
But her collegiate record, she broke that as well that night with 49 points, and then promptly sat down for the rest of the game, which there was only like a minute or so left. But I thought maybe she might go for that 52 points.
Yeah.
But, you know, it was just exciting to see. And then following the game, there was just a lovely celebration. Her family was there, you know, the whole team. I did see a picture that Connor McCaffrey was there as well, who, if you don't follow, if you're not deep in the weeds with girls basketball, I believe they are dating, so I won't go too much into that, but
well, it's just been a fun week to be into basketball in the state of Iowa, and it's playoff time here for boys Class 3A teams across the state. And today, South Tama is got a familiar opponent. They have Grinnell. We are live at Grinnell High School, and it's going to be the third time this season these two teams have seen each other, and both times Grinnell has gotten the better of South Tama, and by a pretty significant margin. They first saw each other on December 15th. Grinnell won that one 59-33, and then again on January 23rd, and Grinnell got close to a 30-point win, 31 points, 60-29 was the final score there. And so tonight, South Tama kind of looking for an upset as they're coming in as an underseed. I think a 6 seed playing Grinnell as a 3 seed. Grinnell has a 14-7 record in their first season into the WAMAC conference. It's been pretty successful for them. They've really hung in there with the WAMAC West, and they finished, I think, near the top. I think they've gotten a win against Clear Creek Amana, who's at the top. I think they split there, and so they have been pretty competitive, and they're looking to make a playoff run. But South Tama has their best team record to date since the 2018 season. They've got 8 wins this year, and a group of seniors that have really led the way for STC. South Tama is going to be without Tommy Tynisma again tonight. He's been out for the season for the last two and a half weeks or so. He had a leg injury that's kept him out since then, and he's getting his way back for track and field season later this spring. So hope to see him out there on the track and doing good things for the Trojans there. But South Tama, you know, and they've won some games with him on the bench, and that's been good to see. They've gotten a win against Benton, a win against Meskwaki in that time period. And so South Tama's putting forward their most competitive team in recent history, in recent years, against a 14-7 Grinnell team coming in tonight looking to make a playoff run. So we'll see how those two things collide and if South Tama has been able to kind of change anything up since they last met a few weeks ago on January 23rd. We'd like to say thank you to our winter broadcast sponsors this year. They include Berkwood Village of Tama, Toledo, Salt Creek Wind, Mercy Care Tama, Iowa Premium, State Bank of Toledo, Hardin's, S&S Car Wash, Cruzy Phillips Funeral Home, Appraisal and Realty Services, Robach Lumber, Stein Robach Floor Coverings, Medicap Pharmacy, Marquess and Hoyer Law Office, Assured Partners Insurance, Sharn Webbers, and TFD Photo and Film. All of our Trojan Country broadcasts are also made possible by the Charlie Townsley Memorial. So thanks to all of those local businesses. They put us on the road and on the air just like we are tonight throughout the entire winter season. It's been about a three and a half month process since we got going in November, and could not do it without all of our local businesses that have really stepped up in without much asking. It's the support that's been displayed for our STC programs by extension of, and us doing what we do here at Trojan Country really has been incredible, despite some down years for several of the team sports for STC. And so I want to just send out a thank you, as always, to our sponsors this year. We are about 2 minutes away from tip-off here at Grinnell High School, and we're just going to go ahead and jump into your starting lineups and kind of break down these two teams real quickly before we have our tip-off. So first, for the home team, the Grinnell Tigers. Starters for Grinnell: number 21, senior guard Cole Blackford. Blackford comes in as the scoring leader. He's the second scoring leader behind Ryan McElrath. Blackford averaging just over 14 points per game, and is the assist leader for the Grinnell Tigers. Next up, another guard, number 10, junior Jack Hoops. Hoops stands 5'9", and he averages a point and a half per game, but he is their steals leader for the Tigers, so a pretty productive guard off the ball, and South Tama is going to have to kind of deal with him in the backcourt. And next up for for Grinnell, number 22, 6'2" guard Derek Doty. He's a junior, comes in averaging 9.9 points per game. And then it's number 15, senior Carson Penich. Penich stands 6'6", averages 9.8 points per game, is the rebounds leader by quite a wide margin for Grinnell. And he's been a multi-sport athlete and familiar opponent for many of these South Tama kids as they've seen him on the baseball diamond, on the football field, and here on the basketball court as well. And then rounding out the lineup for the Grinnell Tigers, number 11, junior guard Ryan McElrath. McElrath stands 6'4" and is the scoring leader for the Tigers, averaging 15.5 points per game. Starters for
South Tama include number 2, Cade Rosenberger. He averages 9.2 points per game, and he leads the team in assists and steals. Next up, we have number 5, Daniel Weiss. He averages 6.4 points per game. And then we have James Brandt, number 10. He averages 3 points per game. Number 23, Emerson Bridgewater, who averages 9.6 points per game and 7.5 rebounds, and he stands at 6'4" tall. And rounding up the starters for South Tama is Jeremy Dolash, number 33, who averages 5.4 points per game and 2.7 rebounds.
So since the exit of Tommy Tynisma due to injury, South Tama's lineup really has not changed at all under the leadership of head coach Craig Harrison. Harrison is assisted by Justin Gates and Dave Weiss. And I should say the Tigers, head coach there for the Tigers, Brandon Sharp, and he's assisted by Scott Sharp, Michael Baker, and Jason Kester. And so, yeah, the lineup has not changed too much. However, one addition that has come to the bench at a very opportune time for South Tama is sophomore Kyrell Edson. He's stands around 6'4", 6'3", and really has added post presence and a playmaker off the bench for South Tama. And so we're probably going to see him within the first half if South Tama needs to go to their bench early. him and Holden Shermer, another senior that's been pretty active off the bench for South Tama this year. Could see both of them this year, or this game tonight. Tonight's winner will advance on to take on either Nevada or Oskaloosa. Those two teams are playing in Nevada tonight. That game's going to be on Thursday, February 22, and the location for that is to be determined. I believe the Boys Association is reseeding, or kind of not setting locations for each round until they determine who has the better record, and then they go, I think, to that location. So. Senior Carson Pinich.
6-foot guard, number 21, senior Cole Blackford. And a 6'2" guard.
All right, as always, keys to the game for South Tama are going to be to stay out of foul trouble and be able to get Emerson Bridgewater involved early. He's been one of their most athletic players, and if he can get established in the post, that kind of allows South Tama's guards a little bit more room to work if the Grinnell defenders have to kind of respect him. All right, here's our national anthem. We'll be right back. All right, we've had our national anthem and our starters have been announced, and we are ready to roll here in the first quarter of action in Grinnell. Class 3A District 6 playoff action on the top half of this bracket. The 1 seed going into tonight is Waverly Shell Rock. They come in as the 3rd ranked team from the Iowa Boys Association. At the center for South Tama, it'll be Emerson Bridgewater tipping off against Carson Pinich for Grinnell. Pinich wins it, and the Tigers start off with the ball first. Here's Hoops. He goes left to Derek Doty. Tigers along the perimeter. Hoops tries to squeeze it in down low, throws it out of bounds. Turnover to the Trojans. Daniel Weiss, Cade Rosenberger in the backcourt. James Brandt on the wing, and down low, Dolash and Bridgewater. Here's Rosenberger at the top of the key. Weiss now on the side. Trojans still working the ball around the perimeter. Rosenberger back with it now. Guarded by Blackford. Gets a screen. Good defense here so far by Grinnell, as South Tama has not had much room to work. A pass inside gets tipped loose. Blackford the steal. Fast break now for the Tigers. Blackford into the lane. 2 steps around, no good. Pinich the putback. Also no good. South Tama will get the ball after a whistle. And it's going to go against Carson Pinich. First foul of the game, still scoreless, 0-0. Opening moments of the first quarter here in Grinnell. Daniel Weiss has the ball, top of the key now to Bridgewater. Dolash looking for it down low. The ball stays along the perimeter. Back to Bridgewater on the left side. He's guarded by Pinich. Bridgewater inside, takes it back out to Brandt. And he has trouble in the lane. Blackford with it again, quickly moving the ball. still scoreless. 6:35 on the clock, first quarter. Blackford now to Penich on the outside for Grinnell. A steal by Rosenberger.
Nice hands there by Rosenberger.
And Cade Rosenberger into the lane, has to stop his dribble. Finds Bridgewater along the baseline. He'll take it, bounces twice, no good. Blackford with the rebound. Here come the Tigers, back up the court again, still 0-0. First quarter action in Grinnell. Derek Doty passes down low to Penich. And his kind of floater from about 2 feet out, no good, it rolls out. South Tama with the rebound, and now Cade Rosenberger will try it. Walking the ball up the court to Dolash. Weiss with it in the corner. Tries to get it to Bridgewater, and Hoops slaps it out of bounds.
The good news so far is that both teams are having trouble offensively.
Yeah.
Now, the shots just aren't falling yet. They will as they get warmed up and get into the game and the flow of the game.
Inbound pass. Trojans with the ball. Daniel Weiss. Nice. Fade away from the left side. Daniel Weiss is good for 2. South Tama leading 2-0. 5:30 on the clock, first quarter. Doty catches it down low, working through a double team, steps through it, airballs it. South Tama gets the rebound.
By Weiss. They're going to want to snag as many of those as they can.
Absolutely. James Brandt driving into the lane, collides with Hoops. The ball knocked loose. Blackford, one-on-one, fast break, and it's good for 2. Cole Blackford scores first.
How there was no foul there.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not sure.
Hoops and Brandt just kind of both went to the deck and no whistle. So
yeah, which shows me that they're going to let him play a little more in the postseason.
James Brandt out to Dolash along the perimeter. Trojans in their half court. 2-2 the score with 4:42 on the clock, first quarter. Fade away for Brandt is no good. Dolash gets it and he's fouled. Oh, it's going to be an offensive foul. South Tama called for the foul there, and it's going to be against Jeremy Dolash. So they're going to say there was contact underneath the hoop before Dolash came up with it. First team foul for South Tama. Crowd did not like that one.
No, that was an interesting call.
Right. Grinnell back with the ball in their half court, still tied 2-2. 4:31 on the clock, first quarter. Doty for 3, it's good. Derek Doty from downtown pushes the lead to 5. 5-2 Grinnell after the three-pointer by junior Derek Doty. Weiss has the ball in the half court in the left corner.
Help him out.
Rosenberger tried to kind of just float it inside to Bridgewater, and it's stolen away. Grinnell on the fast break.
Little push off there.
And McElrath passed it down low to Hoops, and Hoops went to the deck. Foul called. I think it's going to be against South Tama. And it will be a pushing foul against Daniel Weiss. Second team foul for South Tama. There's a steal. Cade Rosenberger swatted a pass away. Now South Tama has the ball. Still 5-2 the score. Grinnell leading with 3:42 on the clock, first quarter. Rosenberger for 3 in the left corner, no good. Kyrell Etzen just in off the bench. He gets the putback for 2. And so Craig Harrison not wasting any time. James Brandt went to the bench a moment ago, and Etzen into the game now, giving South Tama just a little bit more size down low. Open three-pointer for Cole Blackford is no good. And a foul called against Grinnell's Braden Johnson. Johnson just in off the bench a moment ago for the Tigers. First foul for Johnson, second team foul for Grinnell. Now 3:11 on the clock, first quarter. South Tama trailing by 1, 5-4, as Penich gets ready to check back in. Jeremy Dolash with the ball, top of the key to Bridgewater. Finds Etzen down low. Rejected, out of bounds. That was Ryan McElrath.
Blocked, but it's going to stay with the Trojans.
Yeah.
Which that was a good effort there. They got the pass to work that time.
Exactly, yeah. progress from what South Tama has seen the last few times down the court. Edson, the give and go with Bridgewater, and good from the left.
Play.
Tyrell Edson, the last 2 buckets for South Tama, and that takes the lead 6-5 with 2:45 on the clock. First quarter, Grinnell back in the half court. Johnson with the ball along the perimeter. Blackford drives in, 2-step, fade away, good. Cole Blackford has 4. Weiss brings it up the court. Pump fakes, past Blackford. And his pass to the left is intercepted by Penich. Fast break now for the Tigers. Johnson can't convert the layup. The loose ball goes to South Tama. Trojans back up the other way. 2 minutes on the clock. Grinnell back with a 7-6 lead. Here's Bridgewater against Johnson. Kicks it out. Rosenberger for 3. No good. McElrath the rebound, and Rosenberger called for the reach-in. First personal for Cade Rosenberger. 3rd team foul for South Tama with 1:55 on the clock left in the first quarter. A lot of missed shots, low scoring first quarter of action here. We've had some fouls kind of play into the action as well. And I think we're going to have the second. That'll be Dolash's second, I believe. Emerson Bridgewater goes to the bench. And Brandt comes back on. Inbound pass to Braden Johnson, and he banks it in from the left side. Braden Johnson with a pair, and now Grinnell leading by 3, 9-6 the score with 1:33 on the clock in the first quarter. Cade Rosenberger kind of hanging back beyond the 3-point line. Gets it to Brandt. Brandt tried the long pass to Edson.
Miscommunication there.
Yeah, it goes out of bounds.
They just got to shake it off and move on to the next play.
McElrath to the bench. Penich back in. Still 9-6 the score, Grinnell. 1.25 left on the clock. First quarter action. Penich twisting around in the post, and he gets one to go. Carson Penich for 2.
And unfortunately, that's just a big mismatch between Penich and Weiss.
Right.
We need some more height down at the post.
Under a minute now on the clock. South Tama trailing 11-6 after the bucket by Penich. Trojans in the half court. James Brandt dribbles inside. Back out to Rosenberger. He passes back to Brandt in the post. Open look. 3-pointer for Weiss. No good. And it'll be out of bounds after that missed shot. Last touch by South Tama. Grinnell will have 40 seconds on the clock before the second quarter break. Jack Hoops hands it off to Doty. 28 seconds. Johnson down low, can't get the shot.
Weiss comes up with the rebound. And I think a foul, if I'm not mistaken, against Weiss. I'm saying that wrong. Weiss was fouled.
Right.
There we go.
15 seconds left in the first quarter. Grinnell leading 11-6. South Tama with the ball after that foul. Trojans get it up the court. Now 5 seconds. Going to be a 3 for Rosenberger, and he airballs it.
Well, I wouldn't say necessarily airballed it. It did hit the net.
Yeah, it didn't touch the rim, but it went right under the net.
But nonetheless, the Grinnell student section let him know. So
0.8 seconds on the clock, and one last shot from Penich is no good. So our first quarter score, Grinnell leading 11-6 after 1 quarter of play. We're going to step away. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. Thanks for being with us here on Trojan Country. All right, welcome back in. Start of the second quarter. South Tama trailing Grinnell 11-6 as we get ready for quarter number 2 here at Grinnell High School.
It's going to be South Tama ball to start the second quarter. Cade Rosenberger is going to inbound to Daniel Weiss.
Grinnell's crowd kind of getting into it here a little bit. Trojans with the ball in the half court. Opening possession of the second quarter. Edson, Bridgewater, Rosenberger, Weiss, and Brandt
on going to pick up his second foul
on the court there. And yeah, so
he collided with the loose ball there and was just kind of a little bit shorter than, a little bit slower, and then caused the bump. And
second personal for Rosenberger, first team foul for South Tama, and now the Tigers have the ball in the half court. Still 11-6 the score. 7:30 on the clock, second quarter if you're just tuning in. Long three-pointer by Blackford, straight through. Cole Blackford with a 3. And he's got 7 so far tonight to lead all scorers. 14-6 now the score. Edson will try a 3 from the corner, no good. He gets his own rebound, kicks it out to Brandt.
Nice job following his shot there.
Brandt gets it to Bridgewater at the elbow. Screen. Bridgewater a fadeaway from about 5 feet out, no good. Hoops, diving out of bounds. Will go out of bounds, and it will stay South Tama ball as Hoops touched it as he was going out. And so South Tama will inbound from their own baseline. Cade Rosenberger inbounding to Bridgewater. And McElrath just stripped it right out of Bridgewater's hands right there. Steele gives it back to the Tigers. Derek Doty driving into the lane. Underhanded. Gets the contact. Does not get the shot to go. Good athletic move there by Doty. And
that'll be Weiss's second foul, I believe.
It is. So 2 quick team fouls against the Trojans early in the second quarter. So 2 shots coming for Derek Doty of Grinnell, the junior. First one's good. Doty with a 3-pointer in the first quarter. Now he's got 4 total. 15-6 the score. Doty with 1 more shot to take. And the second one goes through. Into the game for Grinnell, number 13, sophomore Trenton Scheck. He checks in for Hoops. Schreck, a 5'11" guard, so a little front court help there for Scott Sharp and Brandon Sharp and the Tigers. 10-point lead for Grinnell after the free throws by Doty. 16-6 is the score. And we're at 6 minutes, 25 seconds in the second quarter. Loose ball in the South Tama half court. Knocked out of bounds by Grinnell. It stays with South Tama. So South Tama has the ball now. Cade Rosenberger will inbound from the sideline to Daniel Weiss. He hands it off to Brandt. And Weiss tried the kind of a reach around pass, trying to get around his defender, and Bridgewater was not ready for it, and it went out of bounds. So another turnover for South Tama. Still 16-6 the score. And the Tigers will walk it up the court from the far baseline. Blackford getting the screen from Pinich. Back to Blackford. Long 3 at the top of the key, no good. And Bridgewater comes down with the loose ball. Rosenberger driving the right side. Stops his dribble. Out to Bridgewater and now Weiss. Ball goes over to Edson in the left corner. He hands it off to Bridgewater, who drives in. Floater, no good. Doty tracks down the rebound, and now here come the Tigers. Quick pass down low to Schreck. And Trenton Scheck scores his first bucket off the bench, and that pushes the score to 18. South Tama 6.
South Tama's going to call a timeout. While we have this timeout, Darvin, do you mind if I...
Please.
Okay. So one of the exciting things about going to Iowa games this year has been that near our section, the Iowa Raptor Project has brought hawks. And
like actual birds.
Yeah, like actual birds. And they are magnificent to see that up close and in person.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, they suffered a fire over the weekend and lost 4 of their hawks.
Oh, no.
And so maybe we could post a link to...
Sure.
I think they have like a GoFundMe or something.
Okay.
Maybe we could post a link to that, and if people want to donate to that, because that's just been a fun part of going to those games.
Yeah.
And actually, it's their hawks that would fly down during the football games.
Oh, yeah. I've been there
well.
for that, too. That's pretty incredible to see.
Yeah. So just a really sad event that happened for them. So if anybody wants to support them, we'll post a link.
All right, coming out of this timeout, Grinnell leading South Tama. This is boys playoff action. 18-6 is the score. The Tigers on top with 5:20 on the clock, second quarter. Coming out of the timeout, Trojans have the ball in the half court. Weiss just passed over to Etzen. Back to Weiss in the right corner along the perimeter. And South Tama is still having trouble moving the ball. I mean, the shots, we're not getting good quality shots. Here's a step back 3 for Etzen. It goes hard off the front of the rim. Bridgewater sprints out of bounds to save it, but it will be last touched by the Trojans. Sheck goes out of bounds for Sheck goes to the bench. Hoops comes in after a breather. Just under 5 minutes left in the first half. Still 18-6. Blackford hands it off to Doty. Hard pass down low to McElrath, and there's a steal for South Tama. And South Tama back up in their half-court offense set. Weiss outside to Rosenberger, and now Etzen from the top of the key. He's guarded by Blackford. Out to Rosenberger. Rosenberger dribbles to the baseline, gets underneath the hoop, covered up on a double team, puts up a shot. It's no good. It air balls. And Cole Blackford comes down with the rebound. Blackford quickly back on offense. To Doty, pump fake from the right, drives inside. He's tried that finger roll twice now, and he didn't get it that time again, but sure looks good when he gets in there. Etzen on the fast break, swings it outside to Bridgewater, to Rosenberger. He dribbles in, and a foul called against Rosenberger. And going to be against Jack Hoops. First personal for Hoops. Etzen will go to the bench for South Tama. James Brandt comes back on, and it looks to be that Coach Harrison's going to go with a 6-player rotation here tonight. We haven't seen anybody else really get active on that bench here in this first half. Trojans with the ball. It just got knocked out of bounds in the backcourt. They keep it, so it will be an inbound pass from Weiss to Rosenberger, and he'll just kind of slowly dribble it up to the three-point line. Gets it to Bridgewater at the free throw line, and now down low to Dolash. He passes to Rosenberger, and Rosenberger drives hard, gets more contact. I like to see Rosenberger attacking, but it's got to be more than just him. It's, again, like you said with Weiss, he's at a disadvantage size-wise when he gets into the paint area.
Yeah. Well, in a key...
and he's good on that first free throw.
A key thing will be for this team is to keep their composure.
Yep.
And not get too frustrated, because I understand things aren't going their way, so they are frustrated. But that's just going to kind of lock you up.
Right. Rosenberger good on the second one, so he's 2 for 2 from the free throw line. Carson Penich just went to the bench for a moment, and Braden Johnson back on for the Tigers. Cole Blackford will try a 3 in the half court. It's no good, and Emerson Bridgewater the rebound for South Tama. 18-8 the score, still a 10-point lead for Grinnell with 3 minutes and 13 seconds left in the second quarter. South Tama in the half court. Dolash dribbling against McElrath, and he floats one in. Good solid attempt there by Jeremy Dolash, his first points of the night. 8-point lead now for Grinnell, 18-10. Blackford pump fakes, tries to get it down low to McElrath. Scramble underneath, a whistle, and a timeout called by Coach Harrison for South Tama, and I think that will save or kind of capture the possession there, as McElrath was kind of flat on his belly and Weiss was down there trying to scoop it up. So we have a timeout on the court. 18-10 the score. Late second quarter. I'd like to say thank you to our winter season sponsors. They include Berkwood Village of Tama Toledo, Salt Creek Wind, Mercy Care Tama, Iowa Premium, State Bank of Toledo, Hardin's, S&S Car Wash, Cruzy Phillips Funeral Home, Appraisal and Realty Services, Robach Lumber, Stein Robach Floor Coverings, Medicap Pharmacy, Mark West and Hoyer Law Office, Assured Partners Insurance, Sharn Webbers, and TFD Photo and Film. All right, coming out of the timeout, South Tama will bring in Dolash, Etzen, Bridgewater, Brandt, and Rosenberger. So Weiss on the bench for STC. They have the ball coming up the court with 2.5 on the clock. James Brandt with it on the perimeter. He's looking for a teammate. It tries to get it to Dolash. It gets tipped loose, scramble in the backcourt. Braden Johnson comes up with the loose ball, and it'll be a steal for Grinnell. Here come the Tigers. Derek Doty for 3, top of the key, no good. Bridgewater tracks it down along the baseline.
Bridgewater's been doing a really nice job tonight on the defensive rebounds.
He has, yep, and he's the rebounding leader for South Tama, averaging just under 8 rebounds a game.
He's got to be well halfway there tonight.
Oh, I think, yep, you're absolutely right. And
I
he's
haven't been keeping track, but
working down low on the offensive side there. Bridgewater tried to pass it to a teammate and went out of bounds. Turnover. Now the Tigers bringing the ball up the court. Blackford hands it off to Hoops. And now Doty. And the Tigers just kind of being patient with it. Just a lot of passing along the outside. Now Blackford dribbling inside from the right. Puts up a shot, no good. Gets his own rebound. And just teardrops it over the defense for 2. Cole Blackford leading the way for Grinnell so far tonight. 10-point lead again for the Tigers. 20-10 the score. Second quarter, 1:20 on the clock left in the first half. Dolash to Bridgewater in the left. He fires a pass down low, gets it to Etzen. Etzen has to kind of hand it off to Brandt, and then it gets stripped away. In South Tama, they just have not had room. They've been just kind of smothered underneath. There's going to be a foul here. It's going to be against Grinnell, so South Tama keeps it. Non-shooting foul. Rosenberger inbounds it to Etzen. Hands it back off to Rosenberger. Step back. Jumper from the free throw line is no good. McElrath gets the rebound. Running hard up the court. Fast break. Penich gets some contact from Rosenberger. Lets him sail just right by, out of bounds. And Penich gets a bucket for 2. His 4th point of the night. Under a minute now. 22-10. Grinnell leading South Tama. James Brandt called for traveling on the offensive end for STC. And so really South Tama has not, I think they've got 1 or 2 buckets this quarter.
Yeah.
It's not been a overwhelming offensive quarter for Grinnell, but their defense has really shut down South Tama.
Yes.
In the second quarter here. 30 seconds on the clock. Tigers with the ball. 22-10 the score.
And some of that's defense, Darvin. Some of that's just the shot selection.
Yeah.
So.
Tigers with the ball on the perimeter, just kind of burning some clock off here. Penich guarded by Bridgewater out to Blackford, and he pulls the ball way out near the half-court line. Back into Penich. 6 seconds. McElrath is fouled. with 3 seconds to go. And Etzen is going to be called for a foul against Ryan McElrath. Non-shooting foul, so the Tigers will have it underneath their own hoop. But there's 3.6 seconds on the clock here left before we go to halftime. McElrath to inbound. Quick pass to Doty. He fires a three, ready for it. Bricks hard off the back of the rim. Penich for two. Penich just got a putback from about 10 feet out on the left. And the rebound just went right to him, and he just kind of volleyball swatted it back to the hoop, and it went through. And 24-10 the score now after the last second bucket by Carson Penich. Extends the lead for Grinnell. And we go into halftime. South Tama trailing by 14, looking for answers in the second half. We are going to step away, and we'll hear from some of our sponsors. We'll be back in a few minutes, and we'll give you some halftime scoring stats.
is bright again. The sky is light again, and the world is bright again. Home is where we love I've lost my juice down in the club. I always keep that shit on top. My piece looks like a disco ball. I dance like I don't give a fuck. I've lost my juice down in the club. I always keep that shit on top. My piece looks like a disco ball. I dance like I don't give a fuck. If it's me that you need, you miss me here, though I don't pick up your call. It's been falling, I've been stalling for weeks. The stars are pretty when the sky falls. Won't you come by my side? I'll go wherever you wanna fly.
Welcome back live from Grinnell High School. Darvin Graham and Allison Graham here with you at halftime
Hi,
of
hello.
this Class 3A playoff game. Grinnell leading 24-10 after 2 quarters of play. Was pretty close through the first quarter, but then Grinnell has kind of pulled away since we got into the second quarter. South Tama really hasn't led much. So unofficial scoring stats first for the Trojans.
Yeah, so Edson leads with 4 points. Daniel Weiss has 2. Jeremy Dolash has 2. And Caden Rosenberger has 2.
For the Tigers, they are led by Cole Blackford, who has 9. Derek Doty with 5. Braden Johnson with 2. Carson Penich with 4. And Trenton Scheck with 2, unofficially, of course. And we're about a minute away from the start of the third quarter. South Tama, it's hard to say, it's hard to put a finger on exactly the one thing they're going to need to do to try and crawl back into this game. It feels like the game's going to have to get a little messy. You know, some fouls kind of coming into it. They're going to have to be aggressive.
That's what I think it is there, Darvin, is they're going to have to continue to rebound the ball on the defensive end, and they're going to have to drive into the paint to make shots. And to do that, they're going to have to get aggressive.
So we'll see if they can kind of do that. Plenty of time left, and it's been a low-scoring game, still with, 24 points. Grinnell has not been lighting it up on the offensive end tonight. So the opportunities seem there. It's just South Tama kind of has to seize the moment here a little bit, and we'll see if they can do that as we get ready to go, both teams to their benches, and we're ready for the third quarter. Out for the Trojans to start. It's going to be the starting lineup: Bridgewater, Dolash, Brandt, Rosenberger, and Weiss. And it looks like the same for the Tigers. It'll be Blackford, Hoops, McElrath in the backcourt, Doty on the wing, and down low Carson Penich. And off we go here to start the third quarter. Grinnell will have the ball in the half court. Derek Doty, guarded by Weiss, dribbles into the lane, gets it to Hoops. And he gets Rosenberger in the air. And Rosenberger kind of comes down on, just his body kind of flopped down on top of Hoops. So that'll be the third personal against Cade Rosenberger to start things off in the third, which is unfortunate for STC. Hoops at the line, misses the first.
I think we could have added staying out of foul trouble
yeah.
to things that they need to do to try and crawl back into this game.
And Hoops good on the second. So 1 of 2 for Jack Hoops at the line. And it's 25-10. 25-10, Grinnell leading South Tama with 7.5 minutes to go left in the third quarter. Ball gets out to Emerson Bridgewater. He fires a 3, and it's good.
What I like that I saw in that possession, Darvin, is that they were moving the ball much quicker than they have all night.
Tigers with it back in the half court. McElrath over to Blackford on the left side. He goes inside to Doty. Doty crashing in. No good. Out of bounds, and it's going to be last touched. Oh, wow. So another ref is going to come in and overrule the baseline ref, which I don't know how you see that from that far away. So the baseline ref initially indicated it would be South Tama ball, as Bridgewater and McElrath were kind of vying for it there, but the sideline ref came in and overturned it. So it stays with the Tigers. Now Derek Doty fires a 3. Carson Penich the rebound. He gives it over to Blackford, and he connects on a 3. Cole Blackford makes that one hurt for South Tama. And
yeah, when you have a call like that, the last thing you want to let them do is score off of a call like that. And unfortunately, they were able to.
That's exactly what they did. 28-13, Grinnell leading now. South Tama in the half court. Daniel Weiss, his shot's no good. Brandt the rebound. He can't get it to go underneath the hoop. Now here comes McElrath, a fast break after the loose ball. Penich inside, kicks it out to Doty from the left corner. Three-pointer is no good. Penich cleans it up. Blackford again for 3. No good. But another offensive rebound for the Tigers, and this time it's Blackford getting in, getting fouled, and dropping in a bucket. Tough couple of possessions here for South Tama, as talk about being aggressive. That's what we're seeing from Grinnell here. They've kind of raised their intensity, raised the volume level.
You can definitely feel like the energy is up.
Yep.
So
Blackford at the line to try and make it a 3-point play. It is good. So Blackford with 6 quick points here in the second half. And
did you catch who that last foul was on, Darvin?
I did not. There were 2 underneath there, and I didn't see who it went against. 31-13 the score. Grinnell leading South Tama. The Trojans have the ball in their half court. 5:55 on the clock, third quarter. Here's James Brandt driving inside against McElrath. No good, but there comes
putback by Dolash.
Jeremy Dolash from the left side.
He was in the right place at the right time.
Absolutely. Blackford now in the half-court set, hands it off to Doty. Doty's been pretty free-firing here, and he hasn't made too many, but that hasn't seemed to stop Grinnell too much. They get their own offensive rebound. Penich down low to McElrath, and he finishes at the rim for 2. Ryan McElrath, just his first points of the night, come in the third quarter. Holden Shermer into the game for South Tama now. He comes in for Rosenberger, who's in with that foul trouble. James Brandt has the ball stripped away. A steal for Grinnell. McElrath trying to catch an alley-oop from Hoops. And it goes out of bounds. Turnover.
Yeah, when you pick up the speed of your play, you're probably going to have a few more turnovers. But that's definitely what Grinnell has done.
And Coach Sharp's going to live with it, being up 33-15.
Yeah.
He's got enough good things going on with his team that he can kind of let him turn things loose a little bit. Kyrell Etzen comes into the game for South Tama, checking in for Bridgewater. Trojans with the ball in their half court, trailing 33-15.
And Holden Schirmer entered the game too.
He did, yes, you're right. Traveling called against the Trojans. That turns it over to Grinnell. And the Tigers now with an 18-point lead, pulling away in this Class 3A playoff game. Loser goes home. Winner will take on either Nevada or Oskaloosa on Thursday of this week. Penich underneath the hoop.
Nice rebound by Jeremy Dolash.
Dolash cleans it up. Here come the Trojans. Schirmer from the left side, outside to Daniel Weiss. Hands it off to Schirmer, to Brandt. Weiss stepping into the lane. Hoists a shot, no good. Blackford the rebound. And he is quick, coming down the middle of the court. Puts on the brakes. Ball goes out to McElrath in the left corner. McElrath drives baseline, finds Hoops open. He's going to pass back inside. Penich for two. The assist to Jack Hoops. 35-15 the score. Third quarter, we got 3.5 minutes to go left in the third. Weiss to Etzen. Schirmer almost lost it, collects it near the top of the key. Gets the ball back around to Weiss, and now Etzen in the left side. 20-point lead for Grinnell. James Brandt dribbling to the baseline, and he'll get a contact foul against Cole Blackford. Second personal against Blackford. Johnson and Scheck come in for Hoops and Penich. And let's see, Bridgewater back into the game for James Brandt. Trojans have the ball in the half court. 3:05 on the clock. Bridgewater fires from the right side. It's no good. Out of bounds. Last touch by the Tigers. South Tama will have it again underneath their own hoop. Daniel Weiss to inbound. Weiss, not entirely sure what he was trying to do there. I think he threw it against his opponent's legs, tried to get the rebound. There's a dunk on the opposite end by Ryan McElrath. He's been trying it a couple of times, and that time he actually got the space and got the vertical. Bucket for McElrath makes it 37-15. Grinnell Tigers in control here in the third. 2.5 minutes to go. Emerson Bridgewater for South Tama dribbling right. Puts up a shot. It's no good, and McElrath collects the rebound for the Tigers. Blackford, fast break. Left side jumper, no good. McElrath gets it. Little kind of a hook shot pass over to Doty. He kicks it back to McElrath. And the points have been coming here for junior Ryan McElrath. He's got 6. Kind of boom, boom, boom. Let me hear say AO. 2 minutes to go.
We've got Bridgewater back into the game, and Rosenberger's looking to come back into the game. Unfortunately, I think the damage may be done.
Etzen, top of the key. Yeah. His three is no good. The loose ball, rebound gets poked out to Blackford. Blackford, one-on-one against Dolash. A whistle after the bucket. And it will be out of bounds. No foul there.
And Rosenberger comes in for Schirmer. Rosenberger was on the bench, probably because of the 3 fouls that he has, would be my guess.
Yep, into the game.
He's back on the court, so hopefully we can see some. Their offensive production, it looked like they had a good game plan coming into the half. So maybe we'll see some of that ball movement now that they're back in.
Minute 21 on the clock. South Tama trailing 41-15. And Kyrell Etzen with the ball. Gets it out to Rosenberger, who's just back in with the 3 fouls. Daniel Weiss with it along the right side. Hands it off to Rosenberger. He's in trouble on a double team. A whistle, though. Foul against Grinnell. That'll be Braden Johnson. So Braden Johnson, 6'4" senior, picks up his 3rd foul in from the bench. Inbound pass stripped away.
The idea was
by
right
Penich.
there, and
Yeah.
Bridgewater just couldn't get his hands on the ball.
Penich on the fast break, couldn't get the breakaway shot to go, but Braden Johnson was right there underneath the hoop to clean it up for 2. And it's 43-15. And South Tama dribbles it out of bounds along the sideline. A turnover for STC. Back to Grinnell we go. 43-15, all Grinnell here in this 3rd quarter. 37 seconds. Tigers with the ball. Jace Kester in for the Tigers off the bench, his first action. Kind of a second unit starting to trickle in here for Coach Sharp and the Tigers. Doty will fire from 3. It's no good. Rosenberger the rebound. He goes in hard against Doty on the opposite end. And a foul's going to be called against Doty, I believe. Yeah.
I believe so. And that's what they needed to do all night long. Is you may get the offensive charge called on you some, but you may get the foul called for you too.
Yeah.
So nice to see them doing that now.
So it was a shooting foul, and Rosenberger at the line makes his first free throw. And he'll have one more. 43-16 the score after the bucket there just by Rosenberger. He's got one more, it's good. 43-17 the score. 19 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Grinnell has the ball.
Fun fact, Rosenberger's points have all come from free throws this evening.
Yeah. Not enough scoring for South Tama across the board tonight, and that's mostly credit, I think, to Grinnell's defense. They've really been a tough matchup. They throw 3 or 4 kids at 6'4", South Tama. So that's 3 or 4 Emerson Bridgewater's athletic, type players, not just post players. Penich kind of plays a guard position. Scramble at the end of the 3rd quarter will result in no basket, and we go to the 4th quarter. South Tama trailing 43-17 against the Grinnell Tigers. We're going to step away. We'll be right back with the start of the 4th quarter after this. Welcome back. Coming in out of the 3rd quarter, South Tama trailing Grinnell 43-17. As we get ready to start quarter number 4. On the court for the Trojans, the starting lineup back out. Brandt, Rosenberger, Dolash, Bridgewater, and Weiss. They have the ball in their half court to start. Working the ball along the perimeter to Dolash on the left side. And the passing, that's got to come away as a key here tonight for South Tama, as they've had several instances where they've had a sequence with several passes and it ends with a teammate passing to another teammate that's not there. So they're just out in front of themselves too much and not kind of looking where they need to go before they release the ball. Got a foul on South Tama on the other end of the court.
I gotta say though, Darvin, wouldn't you just want to, like, if you had a superpower for right now, like
Yeah.
that you could pick,
Yeah.
I think mine would be invisibility, because I want to hear what the Grinnell coach said during halftime
Yeah.
to bring this team out, because this team that we're seeing second half
Yeah,
is
very-
quite a bit different than the team we saw first half.
A
They're
very
quicker,
focused.
They're focused. They're more aggressive. They're taking more shots.
And they've got a 43-17 lead. So
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah, that's a 14-7 overall record. They've got some quality wins on their resume. Here's Cole Blackford for 3. It's no good. Rebound to James Brandt. And there's going to be they're going to be a tough matchup for some teams here in this district playoff bracket. I don't know that they're going to be kind of elite level. Maybe state qualifying might be pushing it a little bit from what I see here, but you never know. Just a few games they got to win. And South Tama with the ball back in the half court. Emerson Bridgewater puts up a bank shot, and it's no good. Cole Black for the rebound. He sprints down the court for Grinnell. And now Hoops passes over to McElrath, and the Tigers just working clock here at this point. They're really being patient. Turnaround jumper for Blackford is no good. A loose ball bounces around. We have a foul after the shot by Blackford. That'll be against Ryan McElrath. First team foul for the Tigers. Holden Shermer will check in for Daniel Weiss. So it's Shermer and Shermer and Rosenberger in the backcourt. Shermer gets it over to Dolash along the perimeter. Three-pointer here by James Brandt. Bangs hard off the back of the rim. Out of bounds, last touch by Cade Rosenberger. Blackford bringing it up the court for the Tigers. McElrath to Hoops. Hoops goes airborne and catches some contact, and he'll go to the free throw line for 2.
That is the fourth foul for Rosenberger. Or wait,
Maybe
did we miss one?
Well, I don't know.
I
It might be
think-
his 5th because the crowd is reacting like he's coming out of the game here.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think that might be it, and that's going to be a career for Cade Rosenberger. Played a lot of games for South Tama.
Yep.
And he
is
exits
done.
after fouling out. So congrats to him on a long high school career with the Trojans. And it ends here in Grinnell as he fouls out with the Trojans trailing 43-17. Trojans could get back into this one, but a long way to go with a pretty dominant Grinnell Tigers unit in front of him here. Jack Hoops misses his second one. He made his first, and so that makes the score 44-17. 6:03 on the clock in the fourth quarter. Daniel Weiss passes down low to Brandt. And Brandt just loses it, trying to kind of make a spin move happen, and it goes into the hands of Derek Doty. Cole Blackford charging into the lane through traffic, and somehow just the athleticism of Cole Blackford getting the shot to go. He's got 17 so far here tonight. That's got to be that's leading all scorers. Trojans with the ball, still in the half court, passing it around. Dolash with it in the corner. Two-hand pass out to Shermer. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Weiss, shot rejected out of bounds by Johnson. And the shot clock went off, but the buzzer didn't go off, so that's kind of curious. So let's see, the officials talking it over. And still talking things over here. We'll see where the ball is going to go. It will. So, okay, well, it's going to stay with South Tama. Cole Blackford, Jack Hoops go to the bench for Trenton Scheck and Jace Kester. And Bridgewater goes to the bench.
In for the Trojans is Caden Tim and
Ian Vore.
thank you, Darvin.
Grinnell with kind of a mostly second unit group here on the court. They're back in the half court. Braden Johnson kind of pivots and shoots underneath the hoop. It's no good, and the Trojans have the ball back the other way. 4:44 on the clock, fourth quarter. James Brandt driving into from the right. Can't get the layup to go. Kester the rebound for the Tigers. Solid pass inside there by Johnson. The passing has been so crisp for Grinnell. I mean, when they're getting it into the paint, it's like a fastball coming in. There's no hesitancy. They know right where they're going.
They're confident.
Yeah. And that's a weight room thing too, being able to kind of move the ball
Absolutely.
quickly, efficiently.
Well, that's one thing I was going to say is, Grinnell doesn't feel like, oh, Caden Tim just attempted a shot there and looked like it could have gone in, but it did not.
Missed shot and a bucket and a foul on the other end. McElrath got the foul, and Tim, I think, with the contact. Go ahead.
Yeah, so back to what I was saying there is Grinnell doesn't feel like an overly large team. Like their size isn't that much greater.
Yeah.
But it is greater than South Tama.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And I think that has also played a big part of tonight's
Doty.
outcome.
Yep. Doty and Johnson go to the bench. McElrath does not convert on the three-point play with the free throw, and so he goes to the bench as well. So now a full second unit in. Jerome Capeu in for South Tama, as is Jonathan Ebersol. So both teams kind of conceding things here. So in for the Tigers, here's Shermer for three. It's no good. So it's going to be Kester and Scheck in with number 24, Kane Pavey. Number 30, Andrew Peterson. And a ball passed out of bounds on the Grinnell end, stays with the Tigers. And let's see, number 12, Kellen Harder. The group out on the court for the Tigers. Harder to inbound. Gets it to Kester. 51-17. 51-17 is the score. Grinnell has led this entire way since, I won't say the entire way. There's a fadeaway three-pointer by Jace Kester on the left side. Nice looking shot there by the sophomore. South Tama had a lead, I think, in the first minute, and then from there on, Grinnell has chipped away and then sped away with this game. They lead 54-17. The Trojans with the ball back in their half court. Jonathan Ebersol passes outside to Shermer. Now Capeu from the right side. Back to Shermer. Three-pointer for Caden Tim, no good. And a whistle. More reserves coming in for Grinnell. Scheck, Harder, Kester, and Pavey go to the bench. Number 20, Keegan Hobbs. Number 31, Colton Seek.
The Grinnell student section is fired up.
Yeah.
I think they're excited about somebody who came in off the bench.
And number 32, Jack Gallagher. This is number 20, Keegan Hobbs getting a bucket. A couple more reserves getting ready to come in for South Tama. Minute 44 on the clock, 56-17 the score. Grinnell's going to advance to the second round. Going to play either Nevada or Oskaloosa on Thursday. And South Tama will end their season with 8 wins. That's the most wins the South Tama team has had. There's a turnover, a steal by the Tigers on that last possession for South Tama. A steal on the half court for Grinnell. Ian Vore, the steal, gets it up to Shermer. And Shermer just kind of gets his feet tied up and goes to the ground. Foul against number 31 for Grinnell. Tanner Large, Barrett Jacina, and Gustav Uenholtz coming in for South Tama. For Holden Shermer, Caden Tim, and Jonathan Ebersol. All three seniors. Tim and Ebersol's been, both of those kids have been with the program, I think, all 4 years.
We are at continuous clock, so the time is running down.
33
about
seconds.
30 seconds left to go.
56-17 the score. And now maybe one more possession for the Tigers. A bucket. Oh, no, it rolls out. 9 seconds for South Tama. Tanner Large with the ball. Crosses half court. Gustav Uenholtz for three. No good. Capeu the rebound. Uenholtz again for three. No good. Final score here at Grinnell, 56-17. And they advance to the second round of the Class 3A District 6 playoffs.
As we're wrapping up here, I'll just say a quick thank you to everybody's support for the year. Our sponsors, of course. I'll have Jarvin will read those off once again before we close out the night. But then just people who listened in, tuned in night after night, thank you very much for supporting Trojan Country with your listens and your comments on Facebook. And
yeah, it means a lot, and we feel fortunate to be able to kind of bring South Tama sports and activities to our community in live format. And this is going to, this will be our last broadcast of the season as we just do fall and winter sports. And so all winter programs have wrapped up. Of course, congratulations goes out to our 2 state place winners on the boys wrestling team. Amari Chavez placing 6th at state last weekend, and Gavin Bridgewater coming up with another runner-up finish, capping off a pretty successful career with the STC boys wrestling program. So congrats to Bridgewater and Chavez there for their medals at the state wrestling tournament last week.
Yep, and as I'm looking around the crowd, I look to my right here and I see the South Tama activities director, Chelsea Aarons. So we got to give a huge shout out to Chelsea, because I know she's been great for you to work with throughout the season.
Yeah,
Garvin.
let me just say, in my own kind of words, Chelsea's been an incredible partner, and on behalf of South Tama schools, has really worked kind of hand in hand with what we try and do and work on at Trojan Country. From the media side of things, it's not always that way, or it hasn't always been that way with other activities directors. But when Chelsea kind of came into that position as a former coach and teacher that was part of the South Tama community, it really gelled things together, from what we're trying to do as a local media platform to what South Tama, activities department is doing on her end, and could not say thank you enough to her and to South Tama schools for their support. Letting us use their internet, letting us use their huddle camera during our home games, and so yes, big thank you goes out to them as well.
And just a couple more here that I just have to say really quickly.
Yeah.
Like a shout out to Anita Townsley, my mom, your mother-in-law.
Yeah.
She's usually always on the other end at home, checking in to make sure that the sound is good. And then I'm just going to say a quick little shout out to Steve Bearden, too, because he's helped out.
Steve's been a great partner as the social media director for the school and part of the Booster Club. Thank you to Steve for all of his support and just kind of backing as another person that's out there doing social media stuff and coverage for South Tama. thank you to him, and of course to Oneida as well for all of her time and support throughout this season and every season there before. So thank you goes out to our winter season sponsors for this year. They are Berkwood Village of Tama, Toledo, Salt Creek Wind, Mercy Care Tama, Iowa Premium, State Bank of Toledo, Hardens, S&S Car Wash, Cruzy Phillips Funeral Home, Appraisal and Realty Services, Robbach Lumber, Stein Robbach Floor Coverings, Medicap Pharmacy, Mark West and Hoyer Law Office, Assured Partners Insurance, Sharn Weber's TFD Photo and Film, and all of our Trojan Country broadcasts have been made possible by the Charlie Townsley Memorial. Thanks to all those folks. Hope everybody has a great week in Tama County. What are you busy with this week, Allison?
I have a district meeting on Wednesday, and otherwise it's just kind of whatever the week brings when we get back when we get kids back to school tomorrow.
Best of luck to our STC boys and girls track teams as they get their practices up and running and going soon. Indoor season just around the corner in March. And we've had some very successful track teams in the last few years here with some kids going to state, and going to be fun to kind of keep up with what they're doing and wish them the best as they prepare for their season coming up here in a few weeks. All right, for Allison Graham, I'm Darvin Graham. Thanks for being with us here, Trojan fans. Have a great week. Good night and go Trojans.